Welcome back to the Fanspeak Network. It's Tuesday. You know what that means. It's time for a DraftKings Millymaker Best Ball Draft. We are live. The chat is with us. The show is brought to you by Fanspeak.com. That's right, Tyler. Best ball rankings are live on Fanspeak. So if you do have, and we're going to bring this up later, so I hope you don't get annoyed with it. But if you do have the Fanspeak subscription, the rankings on the Substack now currently include the Underdog. This is for Underdog. We'll get our DK ones up too. For Underdog, the Eliminator, the Marathon, and the Superflex. Coming soon, we're going to see DK, Drafters, and the Sprint over there on Underdog. My guy Clyde in the chat. And Tyler, how you doing today, bud?
I'm good. Ready to draft some teams on DK again. I kind of hang out in the Underdog streets 6 days out of 7, and just Tuesdays when I come over to DK. So ready to do another one over here.
Time over here, bro. I don't see why you're going against all those sharp people.
I'm not a big fan of DK's payout system spread.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Felix is here. Looks like we can't draft Najee, or I'm going to get hate mail in my DMs. Tyler, any NFL news you want to talk about? Because I always just wanted to talk about news in my whole life because I haven't talked to you for a while because there has been no NBA. Is there any NFL news you want to talk about while we wait for a couple people to
I think there's a big retirement, but I don't think it's best ball related.
Who?
Frank Ragnow, center, Detroit. That's very important.
He retired?
Yeah, he retired yesterday.
Is that why when we tweeted this, our guy Damon Santor said that Gibbs is not good at ADP with all the changes going on there?
I mean, think about it, spread. I was already trying to put that on, not put it on them, but say like they're kind of like how the Eagles were a few years ago where they lose both coordinators to become head coaches and they promote within, try and keep that same system going. And then on top of that, you're going to lose your best offensive lineman, not named Sewell. And we seen when Ragnow was out what that offensive line looks like. They have good players on it, but they're not the same unit. So I think that is a very big loss for them.
Yeah, I think it's a huge loss too. And we saw that with your team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, when they lost. I can't remember who, if you had Maurice or Marquise, but you had one of the penalties, right?
Yeah.
And it feels like your line's never been the same since you lost him.
Yep.
Don't you remember it felt like you had one of the better lines in the league when he was on the team?
We had one of the better lines in the league. And
yeah, and I think a lot of that comes from the center being the brains of your line. You know, a lot of times, you know, obviously the quarterback sets adjustments, but the center does as well too.
I made a friendly wager at work about that NFC North. I put 2-1 odds to a buddy. He buys me lunch. I'll buy him lunch twice.
Okay,
I get Green Bay and Chicago to win that division. He gets Detroit. If Minnesota wins the division, the bet's off.
You gave 2-1 on that?
He gets 2-1. I gave him 2-1.
Why does he get 2-1, bro? He has the best team. You think Detroit's gonna fall off that hard?
Yes. I think Green Bay was right behind him, and I think Chicago is coming. So give me 2 teams. You could have 1.
So you're basically saying, Chicago's not catching them. Like, come on.
I think they can.
What's up?
I think the regression from Detroit and the progression from Chicago could meet right in the middle.
I would be shocked. I think Green Bay would be the one if anyone.
Listen, spread. The other thing too about this compared to what Philly had to go through a few years ago, Goff hasn't played good outside of McVay's system and Ben Johnson's system.
Right, but they're running almost the same system.
Yeah,
I mean, the guys coming in with the quarterbacks.
When McVay realized he couldn't win with them, he kind of tossed them in the trash. I mean, Ben Johnson did everything he could with the man. He couldn't get him past the second round.
I know, but we're betting win the division, right?
And Green Bay was a game behind him?
And Sam Darnold was too. So obviously you don't have to be a playoff performer to win divisions, right?
You're very true, but I think they're going to take a step back.
No, and that's fair enough. And what you're referring to is 2 seasons ago, the Eagles were coming off the Super Bowl, right?
Yes.
And who did they lose at the time? I'm trying to think.
Steichen and
Steichen
Shane Steichen
and the
and
guy
what's
that's
the other
over
guy's name?
Gannon over in
Yeah,
Arizona.
Gannon.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
And then they tried
And
to
I think
promote.
Aaron Glenn might end up being a better coach than Ben Johnson.
Yeah, and then
we've already done the Ben Johnson, so I'm not going to run him down again. Everyone who's watched the show knows my concerns about him. But I think Aaron Glenn's got a chance to be real good, and that might be an even bigger loss.
Yeah, and I think our guy Mike in the chat's right. Like, realistically, the NFC North, each team could easily be in first or last just by a few things changing.
Yeah, if any division is the war of attrition, right? With whoever stays healthy wins it. NFC North is one of them, right?
And think about the team we're talking about, spread. It's Detroit. It's the Detroit Lions. Like, yeah, they won 13 games last year. They look like world beaters. That's the first time they did that in 35 years. This team's used to losing. They go back to losing. They're not going to be like, oh, we can't do this. They're just going to be like, we're right back to where we were.
Yeah, what do you think is the worst loss, Ragnow or Ben Johnson? I think
Ragnow's the worst loss.
I do too.
But I think now you compile them all together.
Yeah.
Like, Goff's losing his play caller that put him up over 4,500 yards passing. He's losing his center. Like, these are not good things for a quarterback who's not – like, Goff's a good player.
Mobile, right?
But he's a system quarterback.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to say he's a system quarterback, but he's not mobile, and he definitely relies on protection.
I don't think you could drop him on a team and just have him win you, say, 8 games. Like, I think the likes of Mahomes.
The top 5?
Yeah, there's like 5 or 6 guys that aren't system quarterbacks. Everyone else is a system quarterback.
Okay. If that's the definition, then
we have a couple guys that are on the outside, like maybe looking in. Like, I don't know if Jaden is a system quarterback yet. I don't think he is.
There's no way he can be there because that team absolutely sucks.
All right, now is Jalen Hurts a system quarterback?
No.
Okay, so now we have 6.
Okay, fair enough. Hey, Mike Robb makes a good point here. NFC North is what NFC South wishes it was. There's no team in the NFC North that would not be favored to win the NFC South if we swapped them, right?
I agree there.
Even the Vikings, who you absolutely hate, would be favored to win.
Maybe the Vikings would be a pick 'em with Tampa Bay. Would that be it?
Yeah, I almost like Minnesota better. And, I'm not high on J.J. McCarthy, but that's more of a fantasy perspective, not a winning football games perspective. So,
yep. But we ready to dive in?
Oh, okay, cool. We talked football. I thought we were going to have to talk about the infestation in my house, which maybe
talk
we can
about
do.
Tibbs getting fired.
Don't care. I mean, NBA is a fun sport to watch and bet on, but I mean, like, the way they run these teams is absolutely stupid.
I agree.
You make the Eastern Conference Finals, you get fired.
Yeah, he should have made it twice in a row, 2 years in a row, but injuries got him last year.
Yeah.
Oh well, though. You ready to dive in this draft?
Yeah. I mean, bringing back to NFL, do you remember when Marty Schottenheimer got fired, Tyler? I'm trying to think if you were even alive.
No, I don't remember that one.
The year is like help me out, chat. It's late 90s, 97, 98.
Yeah, it was like 1.
Guy goes 14-2 and gets fired. Team hasn't been good until they brought Harbaugh in. It was just I wonder if the Knicks are going to do the same thing here.
I think the Knicks are going to trade half his roster for Giannis.
Pardon?
I think the Knicks are going to trade a bunch of these guys for Giannis.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, do you want? Was it 04, 06?
Spunky says the 2006 Chargers were 14-2 and lost to New England.
Was it that late in my life? Why did I think?
I do remember that Chargers team being 14-2 and losing in the first round, or it'd be off the bye.
It would have been the second round because I think they were in the divisional round. Yeah. What is this bug?
You getting attacked by bugs over there, buddy?
Bro, I'm getting. Dude, finally the bug bites went away, dude. This time of year, Tyler, I have to. Even though it's like 90 degrees outside, I'm hiking in long sleeve, everything. I even have to wear a hood. That's how.
Yeah, that's the worst.
So, all right, cool. We talked for 10 minutes, dude. I think we're ready to go in the draft. You ready, buddy?
Yep, I'll count it down.
Count it down.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Wow, I can't. Usually, I'm like, I can't believe that was 2006. Was that with Schottenheimer?
You'll say, yeah. Usually, you're way back on the.
Yeah, usually things. Yeah, especially when you're my age, you're like, well, that was that long ago. I'm gonna look that up. All right. So how many people?
I was able to put together a Cincy mega stack last night, spread.
Talk to me about it.
I'm pulling up the team right now so I could read you the exact team. Let me get to it. I was able to, because in the one spot, I was able to get Chase in the first round. Came back with T. Higgins and Chase Brown on that second turn. And then lucked into Burrow. And then went and got Waddle. And then got Diggs. So it's a really solid team.
That's a great team, yeah. Did you see Diggs out there in training camp?
He looked good in training camp, yeah.
And another one we need to talk about that I shared with the Fanspeak group. I don't even know if I put it on the timeline. I probably should have. CMC, bro, I got to take back everything I said. He looks fine.
But is he going to make it a whole year is the biggest question.
I know, but I thought that he was going to lose speed and that even if he did, he wouldn't be as effective, right? I'm trying to think of a player who was the same, who was like that. Maybe like Willis McGahee. You remember him?
Well, he took a monster hit right before his career started to fall off spread. Ryan Clark deaded that man in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
Like multiple stretchers for both guys. He was never the same after that hit.
Yeah.
So we only need 3 more people over here.
Did you know you can die from Alzheimer's? It says on here I'm Googling it. It was 2006. So thank you, Spunky. Thank you, Felix. He died of Alzheimer's. I didn't know that could be your cause of death.
We're pick 11 in this one spread.
We're always pick 11.
Our guy Spunky looks like he's picking 2.
He always picks 2 too. At least we're far away and he can't snipe us.
Guess who picks right in front of us?
Felix.
Yep. Time to throw out fake names, spread. All the names I say were not drafted.
Bro, he doesn't care. Bro, he does drafts where he only goes off his rankings.
Yeah, I know.
The only thing that Felix cares about is whether or not we draft Najee.
I know. That's why we're going to stay far away from him.
And his rankings are online, so we can actually just go look and figure out who he's gonna. We can go look and just see who he's gonna draft. Now I know on this draft he's not gonna do it like the ones he live streams. I mean, he'll base it off his rankings, but the one he live streams, he literally adds to the queue, just pick him. It's like it's funny. He's rooting for like running backs to get if he has like 5 wide receivers get drafted.
One thing I want to talk about too, like how Brian Thomas goes in this first round or right in the beginning of the second round.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he never got more than he had 0 games with double-digit targets with Trevor Lawrence. He had 6 with the backup, and those 6 didn't come until they had multiple injuries in the wide receiver core. I get it. He's a very good player, but are we sure these weren't like kind of empty stats and him being the only guy they can throw the ball to? You see what I'm saying?
To a certain extent, but we've had this conversation before where, we think that another wide receiver usually doesn't hurt you that bad. It actually prevents the defense from just loading up on you.
Yeah.
That's not always the case. Look what happened to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins in week 15. Or it could have been 16. I can't remember off the top of my head. But the other question I have for Thomas, if I'm down on Ben Johnson, or I'm not down on him, I'm just saying he's not this shoe-in. I think I've talked about it before, and I should do a more in-depth study to give you exact numbers, but it only feels like 3 out of 10 of these hotshot offensive coordinators ever hit, And Liam Cohen has even less of a track record than Ben Johnson. So if I'm skeptical that Ben Johnson's going to come in and replicate the same success right away, I think I'm fair to be skeptical that Liam Cohen is going to do the same thing. And it's almost a similar situation as far as it's just a terrible franchise, right? And you talked about that with Detroit. It just makes things harder when you know the franchise just isn't really being run well.
All right, we're
All
up
right,
in 3
let's
picks.
jump on here. Spunky, did you take Saquon? Did Spunky take Saquon?
No, he took Bijan, but we're up in 2, so we'll
Yeah, I like
his
Bijan way
afterward.
better than Saquon, especially after he got that Madden cover. It's
No,
over.
that's not a good. It's not a good thing.
Yeah, it's over for Saquon. Don't draft him unless you get him at like 10 or something. McCaffrey's up to 11 after that training camp footage. All right, what are we doing here, Tyler? McCaffrey's
Same.
already gone. Who's Felix going to steal from us? Whoever it is, I'm just going to say he sniped us.
Taking one of the 2 top wide receivers.
No, he
Which
didn't.
one do you want? He left them both. You want St. Brown or Puka? I'd rather have Puka.
That's fine. All right, now who should we snipe from Felix?
I'm down for some A-Chain if he makes it.
I'm glad you're coming around on him.
You want to go A-Chain?
You sure you don't want Brian Thomas after we talk shit about him for the first 5 minutes of the show?
I'm fine without him. I'd rather have a running back here.
Okay. Did we get him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just the DK lobbies being glitchy.
Let's see who Felix grabs. So it's Felix took Castro. So Felix, talk to us about your start, buddy. You took Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas. Is that who we got?
I mean, I don't hate it. Can never go wrong with a LSU wide receiver, but
You're telling me.
I wanted some Puka, and I think I like getting a running back in one of the first 2 rounds. That's why I took A-Chain.
Yeah, I do too, because I want to take shots on all those rookies, but we know, just like I said, with offensive coordinators, these rookies are about 30% chance too.
Yeah.
But it's just like those offensive coordinators, the upside is so high that it's worth the risk, even if it's not, the safe way to approach it. Spunky says, of course, Clyde thinks we should take a KC stack. Spunky says, Derrick Henry and CMC are wild with how those guys go in draft. I see those guys go from the 1-7 or the 2-05. Well, I think that both those players have faders. And I'll admit, I was a CMC fader up until I saw those highlights last week. Right? I just didn't think he was going to come back. Tyler, we've talked to people before, too, who just don't believe that Derrick Henry can do it over and over again. It's like they never heard of Adrian Peterson, right? They just think a running back can't do this. The guy's a freak of nature. That's why we like him. But there's a lot of people who just aren't buying in. I mean, and I can understand, right? It's almost like, when we do the NBA show and I always want to take the points. Like some of the people who play fantasy football a long time just don't want a running back over 29 years old, right? And they've just faded older running backs for years. In this case, though, I almost feel like it's the exception that proves the rule, just like Adrian Peterson was, or Frank Gore, or, well, I'm trying to think of another good running back past the age of, what is Henry?
I honestly would rather take my chances with the older running backs that are established in the league than trying to figure out which rookie's actually going to get time, because for every Bucky Irving, there's 9 running backs that never see anything.
Blake Corum, Marshawn Lloyd, Kendre Miller. I mean, let's go over Jaleel McLaughlin. All the guys that we took shots on last year, only Bucky and Tyrone Tracy from past that 130 really paid off.
Yep.
How many times did I go 0 RB and then go Lloyd, Kendre, McLaughlin, and just none of them did anything for me? All right, how close are we?
We are up in about 5 picks. It'll be 4 right now.
All right. While we're doing that, I just want to give everyone a quick reminder, if you weren't here at the top of the show, that on the Best Ball Substack for fanspeak.com, if you are a Best Ball subscriber, it's only $34.99 a month, less than the cost of 2 entries, will definitely be worth the ROI to make that investment. Right now, the rankings are Eliminator, Marathon, and Superflex. Sprint, DK, and Drafter rankings coming soon. Make sure you check that out, especially if you've already taken advantage paid the low price of $34.99, and you're part of the Fanspeak Best Ball subscription. Where are we going here, Tyler?
Hopefully we get to make the pick because DK
whoever Felix takes is a snipe. It's it's who we wanted. I still wanted JSN. Where are we going here?
We have 5 seconds because DK's
right.
Them. I can't stand.
And my cat needs to come in. I'll be right back. All right. Now what are we looking at?
Just want to go
to Devontae and try and give Stafford?
Yeah, let's do that. I really wish DK would give us more than 6 seconds every pick.
Yeah, what's going on with that?
It's DK.
Have it your way.
Try refreshing and see if that does anything.
Yeah, we got plenty of time. Real quick, I want to see who Spunky and let me see who Spunky and Felix have drafted.
Still holding 5 seconds.
All right. What the bro? Is this the shock of all shocks? Do you see who Felix picked in the 4th round?
Marion Hampton.
What? Felix, explain yourself. It's like taking Jalen Warren last year. What are you doing? All right. Bijan, AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson, Spunky. That looks like a team that we would draft, right, Tyler?
Yeah.
If we're in the number 2, that might be our exact team.
The only button I don't click is Garrett Wilson.
Who would you
Love
take
him as a player? Don't like the situation he's in.
Who would you take instead, though? Well, here's one thing. They're going to be down a lot. Well, maybe not. The defense is
I'd have took Marvin Harrison over him.
No, fuck that.
I would have took Rashee Rice over him.
Well, how about Tyreek? You probably wouldn't have taken him.
No, because I think Tyreek's washed.
No way. Bro, he had like a broken wrist last year, and he still had 800 yards. 4 receivers at number 1, the gold. Oh, he finally took the running back. James Conner in round 5 with those 4 wide receivers. This isn't a bad start, although Sutton might have been a reach there. What do you think?
No, it's not a reach.
You have to reach when you're in the 1 spot, though.
I mean, maybe it's a slight reach. Like, I wouldn't have took him ahead of these 2 guys, Smith and Moore. But, I mean, Sutton's a good fantasy producer.
Yeah.
I'm more interested in what this guy got going on right here. CD Lamb.
There with the Hurts-Smith combo right there, huh?
Yeah, he's got a nice little combo, but I'm more interested in what this guy's doing right here. CD is his 1 wide receiver who's guaranteed what?
DK's awesome, dude. You know that guy's a total just home league bro. That just only plays DFS and just, I got $50 in there. Wife's not home for an hour and a half. Let me drink a beer and draft a team like I'm in a home league and I can make trades. Maybe he's thinking that he's going to be able to trade Josh Jacobs to us. All right.
We're up in 3.
Now? And I'm going to check the chat after this. Hopefully Felix explained himself for his Najee betrayal there in round 4. Unbelievable. You know who I want, right, Tyler?
Who's that?
Guess.
Kenneth Walker.
He's on the screen. Yes, but there's a person on the screen I want more.
Travion Henderson.
Yes.
See, we just talked about rookies not hitting and look at spread wanting to dive right back in.
Because the upside's so high. I love Kenneth Walker. I just worry that
this
we
is legit the conversation where it's like, do you want the mystery box or do you want a boat? And spread's like, the mystery box might be a boat.
Right? I'm the guy that wants to trade all the Kings players for draft picks. You can choose. If you go wide receiver, I want Juwan Jennings.
I didn't have time to think. DK gave me 6 seconds.
All right. Well, we got time to think right now, and then we'll check the chat. Are we going another wide receiver here?
I would like to.
I like Juwan Jennings.
We'll do that because then we get the NFC West stack.
All right. Let's check the chat. All right. Clyde says, quick reminder that Tibbs got fired. Yeah, I mean, what a surprise. NBA is stupid. Did he get fired, actually? Yes. Yeah, Spunky. Yeah. I mean, I can see by the way you draft, our teams are going to be our exposures are going to be very similar. And yes, Raiders' worst record in the whole league or in their division?
I think we have a better
In the
chance
division,
having
that's
the
a
worst
pretty good
record
bet,
than
don't you
theirs.
think, Tyler?
You said what?
Raiders' worst record in the AFC West minus 200. Shouldn't it be like
That kind of
minus 500?
Yeah, that kind of makes that's the odds aren't high enough on that.
In the whole league for minus 200? That's a stupid bet. That's ridiculous.
I think we have a better chance of having the worst record in the league than you guys do.
Yeah. They're gonna be 5 or 6 wins. They're gonna draft at like 11 again, like they always do.
This DK clock doesn't reset any higher than 9 seconds.
Are we in some super fast draft?
No, it's a 20-second or a 30-second thing. It's just not resetting to 30.
All right. So Felix is explaining his Omarion Hampton pick. He says the strategy this year is to take both Chargers running backs and hope for a Mostert A-chain type of year. Fair enough, Felix. Thank you very much for explaining yourself, because I saw that as a pure betrayal, Felix. I was like, it's like just bringing your mistress right in front of your wife. Like, this is the necklace I bought from a mistress, honey. Like, that's what I felt like you just did there. Okay. Where are we going next, Tyler? I wish Steve and Meg were in the chat today to laugh at all these funny jokes I'm making.
I'd like a little New England stack if it makes it to us.
What do you mean?
Diggs.
Oh, yeah. He's going to fly up the boards, too. So one rookie that I'm not sure about is Judkins.
He's the better of the 2 Ohio State running backs. What do you mean?
But their team's going to be behind all the time.
And New England isn't.
They're going to go 3 and out all the time. No, New England's going to be like 8-9 win team. New England's going to be second in that division.
Whatever you're smoking, send it over here, brother.
Okay, I will. I'll UPS it because I work there.
I don't know if that's illegal, but let's take some
digs. It is, but I know what I'm doing. No. You really think that the Jets are going to be better than the Patriots? Drake May's way better than Justin Fields.
I think there's a possibility they're in the same boat.
At this point, Aaron Glenn, I think, is going to be really good, but I think that at this point, Vrabel's still better. Miami, throw them out the window. They're toast. They're hey, McDonald, he's so cool. I still remember betting Travis Mangone. He said the Dolphins win the Super Bowl before the Ravens.
You want to take Tony Pollard here?
Not really. I'd rather have Pacheco.
I'd rather have Tony Pollard.
Pacheco!
No, we're going Pollard.
Why? Did you hear Reed just talk about how good Pacheco looked in camp? Why are we taking Tony Pollard?
Where did you read he looked good in camp? Everything I've read said he looks like he's a step slow and he has not progressed in his leg breaking.
I'm going on Reed's quotes himself. He said he was excited for the way he looked.
Are you sure these are from this year and not last year? Because everything else I've read said he's not looked good in camp.
Those are people trying to get you to draft Tony Pollard.
Yeah. Let's draft a guy who I don't think cracked. Averaged 6.5 fantasy points last year and cracked double digits twice.
Felix says, I'll pass on Judkins. Mike Rob wants me to ship him something too. I mean, I do live in Northern California. And Mike Rob, you got to see the neighborhood I moved out to. It's just nothing but farms out here. Wait, did you just take Judkins after saying you'd pass on him, Felix? This guy's feeding us misinformation in the chat.
How many running backs can come off the board before Pacheco does? Because we were up to 4 now.
Yeah, you took Jalen Warren over Isaiah Pacheco. You got to be kidding me.
Let's see. What did Warren average?
Aaron Jones. Unbelievable.
Jalen Warren averaged more fantasy points per game than Isaiah Pacheco.
Okay, but Pacheco was hurt last year. He looks way better this year.
He broke his leg.
Chat, back me up here. Is this chat pro Pacheco or are they team Tyler?
I took a guy who averaged 13 fantasy points per game and cracked double digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times last year for us. And you want Pacheco.
Yeah, it was kind of a Clyde move. Felix in the chat, for those who are just listening, not watching, he says, I'm Team Tyler. Pacheco sucks. All right. Of course, Clyde. This is not good when Clyde's on my side and everyone else is on your side.
Don't get me wrong. I don't think Tony Pollard's some world beater, but as our third running back, I want a guy who's at least going to get in the end zone and score some points for us, and Tony Pollard.
Well, can I get that Brashard Smith guy then towards the end?
Yes, we will gladly take the rookie because somebody's going to have to run the ball there. Pacheco's not going to be effective. Kareem Hunt's old. Elijah Mitchell's not going to last all year, so it's probably going to be Brashard Smith.
All right, who are we looking at? Do we want a better quarterback than Stafford? Do we want Stafford as our backup?
I mean, the way our team's playing ought to be Stafford and Drake May.
I would love that. Where's May at? What round should we get him? And I would ask Felix if he's
May doesn't come off the board until 123.
We already seen that he could lie in our chat. What's that on?
He comes off at 123, so we could reach for him on the next pick if you want. Because he's not going to be there when we come back.
Go back and look at the draft board. We got to choose our thing. We'll get him on
this first pick. We don't have to reach on this first pick.
Yeah. So who are we looking at right now?
I'm down to get a tight end. I'll take any of the tight ends. John, Warren, Andrews, Ingram. I'll take any of them.
I don't want Jonnu and I don't want Andrews. I'd rather have Ingram or
let's go Ingram.
Warren.
Better quarterback.
I like Ingram actually. Yeah, let's do Ingram. Okay. All right, now go to the whole draft board real quick. We got to be quick to decide if we're going to reach for May or not.
No, that's what I just told you. He comes off the board at 123. We're at pick 110. He's not going to be there when we come back.
Okay, then we'll reach one. Unless Bigfoot is up in the chat being rude. God, it's so tough to take him and leave Jordan Love and CJ on the board.
The only one I'm worried about is Stroud.
Stroud's going to be good, dude.
There goes Stroud anyway, so we're taking May.
Okay, cool. Actually, that makes it a lot easier. It's tough to pick him, though, and leave Jordan on the board. I almost want to take Jordan and just backstack. All right, let's check the chat and see what these guys are talking about. All right, look at that Najee reach. Jeez, who are you to be talking about Najee reaches?
Who reached?
Like Cypress still telling someone they smoke too much weed. I mean, you can't do that, Felix. All right, BKGJ says DK drafters that know a bit. Awesome.
Oh wow.
Haven't seen skill much with the DraftKings combo. I don't know if you're referring to our draft or this combo on the screen, but I'm going to assume that you're giving us a compliment, and I'm going to say thank you, BKGJ. Clyde, when I walk around the forest, do people mistake? No, I'm not that big, Clyde. I'm a normal-sized dude. I'm 6'1". I'm down to 175 right now. Pretty good, huh? All right.
There you go.
Let's look at the board. Let's talk about Felix's team. So where's this Najee reach that he was talking about?
Najee reach is right here, pick 94.
I don't think that's a reach. So right where he should go.
Would you rather have Najee or Pacheco?
Najee.
Okay, just want to make sure we're on the same page there.
Both those backs are going to get a ton of work. My worry for Najee is that he gets you there, right? And then Hampton takes over for our best ball playoffs, right? So the guy that got you there isn't that viable anymore.
I think it's more so of they run Hampton down the field and you're like, yeah, my guy's got 60 yards and he's going to go in the end zone right here. And Najee trots out and steals your touchdown every time.
But we're talking about concerns about Najee.
Yeah, but that's how I think that's going to play out. That's how I think their system plays out.
Yeah, probably, right? I mean,
All right, spread. I'll bite right here. Which rookie running back? I'd rather take blue.
I think blue as well.
Nice little stretch in there before we make this pick. Our guys sharing some ideas in the chat. BKGJ. Says Wester and Tesla's rookie wide receivers could be more valuable than projected. I can agree there, especially on Tesla.
Yeah. I think Tesla's one of the ones that you draft right now because his ADP is going to go up. You're getting an ADP bargain.
Do we want to take Kyle Williams to complete this New England stack, or do we want to take Tootin?
Kyle Williams.
And then we'll come back with Tootin or Rashad White because I don't think this dude takes both of them.
What about some Kincaid there for a backup tight end that I think is undervalued?
I'd rather have, or we take Stafford because Stafford's right here.
Nah, let's take Stafford. Let's just play it safe.
Okay.
With our stackers. Because we took, if we missed May, it was whatever, but we did take Adams and Puka.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, Blake Corum might still be on the board. That sucks.
When did Kyron come off? Because that would have been nice to get in the third round.
He's in the third, right?
He came off.
Second. We had no shot.
Wow, that came off at 22.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think of reaching for Kyron there in the second round?
I wouldn't have reached for him, but if he would have fell in our lap for us.
They changed that much better?
If he would have fell in our lap for us in round 3, that's what I wanted. I wouldn't have took him around 2.
There's no way that happens. Kyron's not getting to round 3. All right, we got our quarterbacks taken care of. We still need a backup tight end. And where do you think we're weaker at? Running back? Yeah, we got 6
for sure. We only got 3 running backs.
Yeah, so okay, it's running back.
We have 3 running backs, and Henderson's a question mark. So we have 2.
Yeah, so it's pretty much running backs from here on out. So
yeah,
how many running backs does Felix have? Only 3. We're kind of okay. At least the Bigfoot dad has 4, so he probably won't be sniping in between us. If he's
talking about us having Travion Henderson as a question mark. I got Castro's got Hampton and Judkins as 2 of his 3.
Wait, what are you talking about?
I said how we have Henderson. He's a rookie, so he's a question mark. We don't know what he is yet.
Mm-hmm.
So our guy Castro's got 3 running backs also, just like us. But he's running out 2 rookies out of 3. He's running out Hampton, Judkins, and Kenneth Walker.
Didn't you think Hampton's so much safer?
Could pan. I think it could pan out very well. But I mean, we were talking about rookie running backs dudding. It's like taking some chances there. He hits, he's going to win.
Yeah, and that's the key to this game, right? I mean, there's no last place punishment.
Our 4th running back's going to be garbage. Look, we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them just came off the board.
We really just got to reach. And our darling Ray Davis is one of them.
I know. He's moving up draft boards. He's up to 144 now.
Yeah. Well, Cook is nothing.
Cook's nowhere to be found right now.
Yeah.
Dowdle if he makes it.
I don't mind. Scroll down. Go to just the running back thing. Let's just target who we're going for. I don't mind some Algier.
I like Dowdle better.
That's fine. Can we grab
Algier's behind an absolute stud. So that's the only thing. Is like Chuba Hubbard's good, but he's not Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, that's a great point. How about Braylon Allen next?
I could do that.
I would argue for Jalen Wright, but we have A-Chain, and I'm not. I know Felix is.
And Jalen Wright didn't look like in the little bit of time he got, he didn't look all that good. He didn't look fast. He didn't look like he had burst.
I wonder if that's going to be a James Cook deal, though. Where remember Cook looked terrible his rookie year, too?
He wasn't, I mean, he was bad, but he wasn't terrible. Like, Wright just didn't show us anything. Get some Braylon.
All right. Now we're feeling a little better about our running backs. What do you think?
Yeah, I feel a little better.
Well, no, he didn't do shit. I mean, when you're taking him, you're just assuming he becomes the number 2, right? With Mostert gone.
Yeah, I'd rather just pray to God A-Chain stays alive. It doesn't get hurt.
I can't believe Mostert's still on the board, dude.
Can't believe who's still on the board?
Mostert. He should be way higher, dude. He's gonna you talked about Najee vulturing all the touchdowns. I think Mostert's gonna vulture a lot as well. Look who Felix picked. Let's go. Finally someone to go against you, Tyler.
What, Sam Darnold as his third quarterback? Does he have any correlation there? Yeah, he's got Cup, he's got Walker, he's got JSN.
Yeah.
Draft that as correlation spread. I'd bet you our guy Felix is all correlation, and he ain't a big Sammy D guy.
No, I think he knows I'm right, and that Sam Darnold's better than you're giving him credit for, especially in fantasy football where winning in the crunch time doesn't matter. For example, if I throw an interception at the game on the line, if I already have 400 yards and 4 touchdowns, it doesn't matter.
Just let me know when he puts up fantasy points without Kevin O'Connell.
Playoffs, it doesn't matter. Go ahead.
I said, just let me know when he puts up fantasy points without Kevin O'Connell and Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, I will. Week 1.
Because I bet you them fantasy points drop by like 6 points per game.
I got to look up the Seahawks schedule right now. I might be texting you week 1. Who do they play? Please say it's the Cardinals at home. Never mind.
That's what I thought spread.
It'll be week 3 that I'm messaging you. Okay.
Well, they're already 0-2, and they're already calling for Milrow.
He starts with the Niners, and then he plays the Steelers.
Yeah. Give him Nick Bosa and TJ Watt right off the bat. That'll really build his confidence.
All right. And it's the beginning of the year when TJ Watt steroids haven't run out. All right. Check the chat. Mike Robb says, every year we talk about Najee losing work and someone quicker or flashier will take his job, but it never happens. Seems we should change the thought process a bit. To be fair, though, Hampton is 10 times better than Jalen Warren, just from what we've seen so far.
Yes, just a much better runner. Warren's more like a scat back, catch passes out of the backfield.
Yeah.
Relieve Najee for a minute.
Yeah. Clyde says if we could see which users have logged the most hours watching us, he'd be in the top 10. Yeah, you would. If it was just chat comments, Clyde, you might be number 1.
And we're up in 2 pick spread.
Should I double stack Hurts, Brown, and Smith? Well, didn't you already do that? Well, I think you should. We just double stacked Stafford,
Puka,
and Kua. All right,
which
where are we
tight
going?
end do we want to take? Do we want to take Freiermuth or Strange?
Either one. I almost like Mason Taylor better.
Take Freiermuth.
All right, where are we going next?
Doesn't matter. Wherever you want to go. If you want the third tight end, we could take one of those too.
I said we take Will Shipley, dude. Did you see who's on the cover of Madden? You'd be out by week 3.
I'm down to do that. Get some Will Shipley in our life.
How pissed is Spunky going to be? Sorry, buddy.
I don't think Spunky picked him at 2. He took Bijan.
No, but he has Hurts, Brown, and Smith.
Oh. I mean, hey, maybe they become a throwing team spread.
Felix likes the week 17 matchup for the Seahawks. I know on the Best Ball Jeopardy, that's one of the big questions, but that bye week math would be my worst one. Oh, playing the Panthers.
Supposedly the Panthers are getting
I don't know.
Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they weren't that bad on defense last year, were they?
Or they weren't the best. But, I mean, you add in Jalen Ramsey at the corner spot with J.C. Horn. Like, that's a really good one, too.
Maybe. If Ramsey might be washed.
I don't know about that spread. We love to call these corners. We love to call these corners washed whenever like their defensive. But it's when their defensive front can't get pressure and they're chasing the wide receiver for 8 seconds. It's like, yeah, the dude's going to get open eventually.
Do the Panthers have that much of a defensive front, though?
No, but it's a little better than what they were sending out in Miami. Change of scenery might help them too. I don't instantly go to these players are washed.
Is Mike Robb using the word kinks in the way I think he is here? He says the bye-week math section is just Bruni working out his kinks in real life. Are you saying that the way I think you're saying that, Mike Robb? Because if so, I shouldn't have put that comment on the screen. All right, what's next for us, Tyler?
Whatever we want, spread. We're sitting at 2-6-6-2.
Oh, we could have got Blake Corum instead of Shipley. We should have done that. Interesting pick there by Spunky with J.K. Dobbins. Where is he going to end up?
Chicago?
Is that where he is? I'll look it up right now.
He's not signed yet, but I was just trying to give you ideas.
Oh, okay.
Chicago. A lot of teams already got 2.
Yeah.
Could go to San Fran. They don't trust Garendo as the backup.
That's true.
Miami.
Yeah. All right. Mike Robb says it is what the mind makes it. So basically, he's now accusing me of being the one with his mind in the gut.
Let's get our third tight end right here.
Nice little switcheroo there, Mike Robb. Nice, well played. All right. Where are we going, Tyler?
Terrence Ferguson, if he's here.
Okay. I was going to argue for Taylor, but we do have Stafford.
For who? Taylor. We got Ferguson's on the Rams.
Yeah, I know, but because we have Stafford, I'm not going to. Let's see if Felix screws us. No, we didn't draft Najee. He's just being a nice guy today. Can you imagine if we draft Najee, he would have taken.
Oh, it would have won. He would have took all of our players. We wouldn't have a single Ram outside of those first 2.
No, we would have been screwed. He would have taken Stafford round 3. All right, where are we going next?
We got 2-6-6-3, so doesn't matter.
Want to grab that Rams running back?
Let's do it. Why not? Go full in on the Rams. I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick.
All right. I'm not sure who that Rams running back is. Let me check the chat real quick and see what everybody is saying. How and when do you guys take week 15 to 17 correlation into account for a pick? I don't do it that much. I probably should do it more. But my idea is I just want to advance as many teams as possible. And then let whatever happens, happens. I've also heard a good argument, and I can't remember who it was, and I hate not giving credit because this wasn't my original idea. But that with the week 17 correlation being on the forefront of everybody's minds, that if you do want to take a week correlation, I mean week 16, week 16 is the one to do it because other users won't be looking at that. So the idea is the popular week 17 games, you get into week 17, and a lot of other finalists have those same games stacked. Whereas you might be knocking those teams out with the awesome week 17 correlation, with the strong week 16 correlation. And even though they might have the nuts in the week 17, and Meg can talk to you about that from 2 seasons ago, that, you've knocked them out because you won in week 16. And so they might have the nuts on week 17, but they're not around to enjoy it. So I don't do it as much as I probably should. But like I said, everyone has their own strategy, and my strategy is trying to get as many bullets into the playoffs as I can. All right.
I agree there. Get as many bullets in. I like these. I like having little mini stacks in the division, having like little pieces of all 4 teams.
Yeah.
You're guaranteed, 8 games between all 4 of them?
Yeah. Like, for example, I don't have week 17 memorized like most of the other guys doing content do.
Yeah.
Is that a disadvantage? Maybe, but my idea is that when everybody's doing something, even if it's smart, it starts to lose its edge, right?
Yep.
Like everybody knows about teams down 2-0 in game 3, right? So yeah, it's smart. The edge is gone though because everybody's aware of it. All right, Tyler, what are we looking at for the next one?
We're just drafting best player available at this point, spread. So doesn't matter to me.
I want Royals and most air.
Let's do it.
All right.
Deontay Johnson.
I don't want who?
No, they just last pick was Deontay Johnson.
He's not even gonna play this year, is he?
He's on Cleveland's roster.
Okay.
Cleveland's just the land of mystery.
He's another one that proves my idea about Tomlin, dude. As soon as he gets rid of you, you're washed. If Tomlin says you're no good, you're no good. At least if you're a wide receiver.
I don't know how much that argument actually stands.
Pardon?
I don't know how much that argument actually stands and actually has,
wide receivers that lead the Steelers have an average 20% less fantasy points the very next season.
I mean, that's fantasy points.
Who's been good that left the Steelers?
Antonio Brown.
For what? A season and a half?
2.5 years and won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, because he had Brady playing the Tomlin role. That's the only one, though.
I mean, Emmanuel Sanders left and played with Peyton Manning and won a Super Bowl.
Who was the other guy you gave us? The one-handed catch guy, Martavius Bryant, trash. Deontay Johnson can't even stay on a team. Can't even be on a team. Did you just say Dylan Sampson?
They took our running back.
All right.
The guy we were going to take. They took Mostert the pick before us.
I know. I almost wish we would have taken him before, but that's fine. Sorry for Judkins. All right, that was our last pick, though, right?
Yep.
I'm going to check on the chat here real quick.
Felix Castro. There's another one, Emmanuel Sanders. Left the Steelers, won a Super Bowl ring, played, 5-6 years, productive in Denver.
All right, so 1 and 5.
I think it's more so 2 and 5 spread, and it's also the 3 that are
Antonio Brown does not count.
The 3 that are quote unquote washed had the same problems in Pittsburgh. We just covered them up. Martavis Bryant had those same problems.
Yeah, but Tomlin covers them up because other coaches don't know how to do it. Yeah, see, great point. They also averaged 2 felonies. So not only is he making them better football players, Tyler, he's making them better human beings. Don't you care about humanity, Tyler?
Or they just cover them up very well, spread, because I know a lot of stuff that goes on in the city.
That's true, right? I can imagine these smaller these teams where it's all Pittsburgh. I mean, does anyone care about the Pirates?
No, everybody just wants the owner.
When you go to work, when's the last time someone talked to you about a Pirates game?
Oh, the one guy at work always talks about them, but
oh, really? Okay,
yeah, he lost cause.
Yeah,
there's another one, Randall. Antoine Randall.
All right, let's talk about the teams, and then we're going to get out of here. Let's start with Spunky, although, I mean, he picks all the guys we love, so we're just going to give him props. Let's try and find
Bijan, A.J. Brown, Garrett Wilson, Hurts, Smith, Montgomery, Shakir, Scatterbo, Trey Harris, Herbert.
What's wrong with this draft?
Tucker Kraft, Rashad White, Trey Benson, Hunter Henry, Jalen Noel, J.K. Dobbins, Tesla, Mason Taylor, Felton, and then Restrepo in the last round.
Bro, that's a good draft, man. I know we're supposed to be critical, but what are we going to draft?
The only thing I can be critical on, it's just the 2 picks that I don't like.
Which one?
Scatterbo and Trey Benson.
Why Scatterbo?
I'm not big on
him. I think he's going to be fine. Where's Benson at? Where did he pick him at, though? Who could he be taking instead? No, I guess you're right. I'd probably rather have Tank or Dowdle.
Yeah. I'm just not a big Benson guy.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Else I like.
Remember how excited we were about him last year, and then he was so slow?
Yeah, those are the only 2 complaints I have on his entire team. I like everything else.
All right. And even though Felix probably knows more than us, let's go ahead and critique him too. Oh, look, my cat's in the background.
So we got some neighbors, Brian Thomas, JSN, Hampton, DK, Kenneth Walker.
And just banging your mistress in front of your wife there, Felix. Unbelievable.
Judkins, Caleb Williams, Loveland, Trevor Lawrence, Njoku, Tank Bigsby, Sammy D,
Yes.
Pat Bryant, Blake Corum, Dontavion Wicks, Rashard Smith, Keaton Mitchell, and Parker Washington.
Oh, we should have taken Smith. Well, because no, Hunter had close correlated. All right, we did pretty good. The only thing we probably should have done is taken Corum instead of Shipley, but we ended up getting that other one, so I guess it doesn't matter, right?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, there you have it for us. We will be back next week. Hopefully the NFL gives us something to talk about. We'll check the chat one more time, and then we'll get out of here. I don't think much about Pittsburgh wide receivers as of last 3 years, except for Van Jefferson last year. Okay. Did you hear about this Pirates fan that fell over? I'm sure everyone was talking about that, right?
Yeah, he lived like 10 minutes from me across the bridge.
Did he die?
No.
What happened to him?
And I went to the hospital, had some injuries.
Like, was it just like a broken arm, or was it like he's never going to walk?
I don't know exactly what the injuries were, but like he was drunk. He fell over the wall. Probably had like a 15-foot drop. Probably didn't get hurt all that bad. He was drunk, so his body was.
He was drunk, right? If you or I did it while we were sober, we'd be screwed.
Yeah, because you're gonna tense up as you go down.
Yeah. And Spunky says Rico is one of my highest owned backs. So Rico Suave. Let's hope that he gets it done for us. Guys, final time, remember, if you are a part of the Fanspeak Best Ball subscription, let's see if I can do it off the top of my head. It was the Best Ball Mania, of course, but we have the Eliminator. Now I'm gonna have to look. Can you do it off the top of your head? Underdog Eliminator, Underdog Marathon, and the Superflex rankings are currently live. And if you remember, stay tuned because coming soon, the Underdog Sprint, the DK Best Ball Mania, and the main drafters rankings will be added looking at later this month. So if you haven't already
done any of those Superflex drafts, spread,
it's just $34.99. It's not even a recurring payment. You just pay it once. Dude. For us in California, if you go out, like you get like some crappy ass burger for $23.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You can't get a subscription for $34.99. I think it's a great deal myself.
Have you done any of the Superflex drafts?
Not yet. I don't really like Superflex much.
I'm not really a fan of the way the quarterback, like, it's just the ADP all switches up and all the quarterbacks come off first, and it just throws my mind.
My strategy for that is if I have top 6, I go quarterbacks. If I have bottom 6, I just try and get the best position players, and then hope I take
come back around on quarterbacks
and my Goffs and my Kyler's end up hitting.
Makes sense.
All right, that's it for us, Tyler. Any final words?
Nope, that's pretty much it. And we'll be back next Tuesday, draft another DK team. I'll have to argue spread out of another running back.
All right, I hit it a little.